Okay, you have the floor.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the meeting of the Board of Assessors of October 5th, 2022. Our first order of business is to approve the previous meeting's minutes.
Make motion that we approve the previous meeting minutes.
A second. Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Aye. Next on the agenda is personal property values changes.
CC.
Good morning, good morning.
Some type of that. Yeah, three. Three personal property that I just changed with one is custom financial management, which is custom mufflers. They I'm sorry, that's on page 3. So okay. Yeah. Go to the page 3. All right. Custom financial management, I said it's custom mufflers. We made some adjustments on their accounts because they did not file the return properly. So we have an increase of $63,712. RCM, which is Quality Inn and Suites on North Red Bridge Road, the second one. They did not file as well, and they had an estimated account, so we actually added $521,212 to that just from that particular hotel that we have had. And Suncom Mobile opened a new location on Thornton Road, and they added $31,856 to that system. So it would be 0 to 31,000. Page 3, but we go to the fourth quarter. Yeah, the paper clip off, and the one that everything's stapled together. So the last set of papers. No, not go down for the last team. Need to stay.
Give you right now, please.
Doesn't know exactly. I can do this one. Yes. Any questions? Then all the personal property values changes at the top. I think the motion to approve the personal property values changes is written.
I make a motion that we approve the personal property values changes.
Motion in second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carried. Thank you, Gene. Sure.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Right. I'm going to start off by saying that the tax bills went out in the last few weeks. So we have been bombarded here in this office. A lot of people have looked at their bill, they called us and looked at a lot of things. So we have quite a few changes on the residential side and on the commercial side today to go through.
What is the real property values changes that?
Yes, we are. That is good. Okay. I'm going to start out on page 4 Help me find page 4. And we did front and back to try to save a little bit of page. Yes. Okay. On page 4, it should be administrative changes for commercial real properties, and this is going to be ownership changes. Okay. The first one is parcel 2015-323, and it is a change because of a missed foreclosure deed, and it will go for years 2022, 2021, and 2020. If you look at page 5, you see 2021, and page 6 is 2020. There's no change in value, just a correction of ownership. Number 2 is 317-1825, and it was a misdeed. We're waiting actually on the legal to be correct, to be corrected, and there's no change in value on that one. And the third one is also near that one, 317-18-216, also legal corrections that need to be made. No change in value for year 2022. These 3 are commercial properties. We're going to go to page 7. These are also administrative changes, which include reinstatement of some homesteads, because a lot of people came in and saw that their homesteads were not on their bill. So we had to take a look at them and see if we could reinstate. I want to go with the first one. I'm not going to read the number, but I'm going to just tell you that the house caught on fire 2020, October 2020, and we took the homestead off. We should not have taken the homestead off. They get the homestead for another year. So it was taken off by one of the clerks back in the day. And we reinstated it back to 2021 and also gave it back to them for 2022. Sorry about that. The house is back at 100% for this year.
It was just reinstated for 2022 or both years?
Both years. The next one is, I think we talked about this one last week, but she was looking for her homestead for 2022, and we had to deny her homestead for this year because it was 70% complete as of January 1. She called back again the other day, and we realized that we did not do her value as of 70%. At 70% complete. So we went back and corrected her value for 2022 at 70% complete as of January 1. So her value was reduced from 362.9 to 283,626 for the year 2022. Okay? I'm kind of run through some of the homesteads. I'm going to skip over the next one. 10 is they provided their documentation to get their homestead. Again, they saw their bill, didn't realize they didn't get it, and they realized that they needed to turn in some documentation. So they got that turned in really quickly. Number 12 is they also turned in their documentation, and LA stands for Veterans 62 years and older. And LV on number 13 is a disabled vet 65 and older. I'm going to go back up to number 9, which was, this was a residential property that was accidentally put on income. Is that correct, Joey? So we changed it from income to cost. Not sure, some kind of glitch with the system with wind gap and conversion over. It put her property to income. Also on number 11, the same thing happened on that. This lady came in to our office and she saw her bill. She was very upset about that bill. That bill was very high. Her value was actually $206,000, and we sent her a bill for $1.4 million. That glitch, putting it to income on a residential, it really increased her value. But that was an error. We did correct it. So her value went from $1.454500 to $206,478. We are going to see if we have any more properties out there like that to make sure that we don't have any more errors with residential being put to income. So we're going to look into that and make sure that we have any of those errors that will get us corrected.
Those are system problems?
I believe that those are system problems. We had it changed over in WinCap to put them on income, to keep from doing a one by one, and some others got snagged in that particular process. And it was not noted until the bills started coming out. People started looking at those. They didn't catch it in their notice, they called it in their bill. Okay. On page 8, it is more ownership corrections and homestead corrections. On number 14, that's a story. She, kind of like the lady who filed her homestead in 2017, this lady filed her homestead in 2011. And some reason it did not get put on. Oh no, actually it was put on, but it was taken off in 2013 when she was having trouble getting her mail, and she changed her mailing address to a P.O. box. She came in with her original 2011 slip in pristine condition, perforated and everything. Because I was going to tell her no, that we were not going to reinstate it. But after looking at the circumstances and her explaining it, we did like we did with the 2017 homestead file. We did a current +2 for a total of 3 years, like the law allows. So we reinstated her for 2020, 2021, and 2022. I thought I would present that to you all. She says, don't ask her why she did not notice it before now. She just happened to look at her bill and saw that she did not have her basic homestead on her property. So we are requesting that she gets it reinstated for 2022, 2021, and 2020.
Which is the maximum we can approve.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Of course, he wants to go back to 11, or 13 if we're not doing that. Okay. The rest, I don't have any particular stories on. They just brought their paperwork in for their homesteads, so we recommend approval for those. There is one, however, number 20. We approved her for her name error. As we do, we research to make sure that no one has homesteads anywhere else. And it turns out that her mom has homestead in Paulding County, and her mom have the same exact name. So we did not approve her for homestead because we thought she had a homestead in Paulding County. Lauren verified that it was her mom in Paulding County and not and not her. So we are recommending approval for her for 2020 on that one. Page 9, also some more approval for homestead. On 21 and 23, number 22 is he filed an affidavit with his attorney stating that somebody filed a deed that was not him, that it was not his signature, and he reinstated it back to him per the documentations from his attorney and his filed deed, showing that he said that is not him that did that. So we put him back on the parcel. Okay. Page 10 is 10 and 11 is for 2021 and 2020 for the lady who filed her homestead in 2011. Okay. We're going to get into the value changes for the appeals. I don't know if we want to stop there and approve those by themselves or go into an appeal.
Okay, entertain a motion to approve those last changes.
Second.
So the motion is second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Email it to me. Okay. On the next few pages, as you can see from the title, it will be, you're going to be working on all the appeals. The first page is one where the 299C from 2021 did not roll over with their value. So we are reinstating their 2021 299C value from $300,500 to $222,300. Page 13 through
in review for, there's a three, looks like number 3-5, or this number.
Getting 12 to 13. Oh, yeah, the numbers, the commercial separates out, and the personal property separates out, so you don't go by the numbers on the left. Okay? So 1 through 4 is actually, Joey is gonna present those for commercial. They separate them out by division. I know, I wish I could change it, but that's the way that they print it. The system generates them. So there is some items before on the residential list. Okay. So on pages 13 through 24 are all the residential appeal changes. We had one particular tax rep, and that's Ryan. He filed 576 appeals. We have them all on this agenda today. And out of that 576 appeals, we have 82 of them that we made changes to, and about 488 that we did not make changes to.
So if you could keep
I know.
Make sure that
Yes.
wrapped around.
Ryan, tax rep. He represents all those investors that own all of these investment properties here, residential.
Okay.
They filed 576 appeals. And for the past few weeks, my appraisers have been working all of these 576 appeals. From my clerks putting them in the system and getting the folders together, to them going in the field checking the ones that have not been visited in the past 2 years, and to all of my appraisers that are getting all this information in the system. They have been working on these, and I want to commend them for a good job that they have done in these past 2 weeks. And this is the results of that. Okay? All right. So we have 82 changes with the Ryan appeals, and there are also a few other changes sprinkled in with a couple of other tax breaks, and about 488 no changes. That's what that other spreadsheet attachment A is. All right. I'm gonna just do a generalization of the changes that were made, and some of the changes actually went up. If they went out to the field and saw that the property had been renovated from when we purchased it, because investors do have to put the property in rentable order. So we went out, we saw some finished basements, we removed some pools, we saw some renovations going on, we added some effective year, so we've increased some of the values and we decreased some of them. Martin, I did a little bit of math. I don't have the exact number for you, but overall, the changes did go down, but not as much as we would think they would in this particular situation. So out of the 576, we made changes to the 82. Well, at 14.8%, we made changes to. So this time I want to give you a little bit of math on those. And if you just kind of flip through the pages, going through page 24, you can see some of the reasons why we made the changes. Some of them we just needed to equalize the value with the sales in the neighborhood. We added finished basement, we removed finished basement, we added some effective year. We applied the purchase price. We looked at a few and had the purchase price is, when we purchased it the year before, we have to set it to the purchase price. So we applied some of those also. Those are the Senate Bill 346 applied sale price for 1 year. So if you have any questions on any of these changes, all the way to page 24.
Were any of these challenged, or these?
After today, I'm going to present these to the rep. He is usually pretty good. I'm hoping that he doesn't take these all the way to the BOE and do hearings, but I'm going to send these to him in a spreadsheet and see what he comes back with. We're going to maybe try to make sure that we don't give these to BOE, but some of them we're going to stand our ground on them on the no changes and see what we can do.
I would entertain the motion to approve these changes as noted.
I'd like to make a motion.
Go ahead.
I make a motion that we include residential property changes as noted.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Thank you.
Okay, well, on,
Okay.
well, so the attachment A, this is a spreadsheet with all of the no changes from that. So I just wanna make sure that you all see what the owner value they requested, the notice value in bold, and we no change all of these. And this is, well, if we have not been there in the past 2 years, so we didn't do that many, but this is 555 no changes. So this includes some of the other tax reps like Tax Pro and the Toll River. So there are a few other tax reps that we kind of squeeze in with the no changes. I just want to make sure I presented those. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Adrian. Appreciate it.
That's where commercial property values and. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, I've got some commercial changes here. So first off, I've got the commercial, the first two on the outline list. I have two properties that the owners had said they didn't receive their assessment notice. And if they wanted to file an appeal past the deadline once they saw their tax bill. And it was found that we had the wrong address for both of these individuals. So we were just requesting that, letting them file an appeal for 2022 based on the wrong address information. And that would be parcel 5801821, the Smith Property Services. This is a warehouse type building over on Crestmark Boulevard that actually flooded, in the 09 flood that we never rebuilt. So they just basically use it as a storage facility. They don't rent it out and don't get any income from it, so. Just have to be addressed during the appeal process when we work on the appeal. And the next one is for your occasion at the event center on Event Memorial Highway. It used to be a pawn shop. It's right on the corner of 92 and Veterans Memorial where the old 92 crossed over. She's a new owner, new business owner, and she didn't receive her notice. I mean, her notice either. So they're just because if they get it without, essentially final bill for 2022. Okay, and that says on page 25, these were the two properties that had previous 299C value applied, and the notice went out without that value being applied, so we applied the 299C value for those two particular properties. You can see the value coming in for both of those. Next page, 26, we did hearing officer value changes for the appeals. And the first one is Article 5811824, had a value of $8,173,300 and adjusted the value to $7,440,000, and that was adjusted the income to be uniform with other similar properties. And so you can see the difference in the value change. And then the second one is parcel 09751823. This is a building in the State Mobile Home Park located on Fairburn Road. It was put on the income during the conversion, so it was one of those we didn't want to have on income, so we put it back on call. You can see the value went from 12,378,700 to 6,274,888. And the next page on 27 is the regular BOE appeals, the changes. I had 4 of those. The first one is parcel 0023-015-0127. And we had a value of $4,554,000, and adjustment due to 100% vacancy because it's not being used or at all for anything. So made that $4,200,000. We got an adjustment for that. And that'll just be for 1 year too, so. Then the next one is parcel 0206-18246. Value $407,300. And this is another unoccupied building, I made adjustment for 1 year, comes to value of $368,800. And the next one is parcel 0206-82247, and I'm just gonna do both at 206-82250. Both of these, were purchased at the same time, so we were just they didn't get their price paid, so we were, reinstating the price paid for just their 1 year. So you can see the exact same value on both properties, so the 805,600 to the 638, the 805,600 to the 638. That's all the changes I have for those. And then page 28 is just my hearing officer, no value changes. I had 4 of those. You can just see that's to let you know there were no change. And the last would be the commercial value no changes, which is similar to the residential where we have attachment on the spreadsheet, we did offer no change. Since it's such a long amount. And that's it.
Okay, Joey, double quick here. Sure. First, on page 25, we have 2 properties here. Those were adjusted downwards due to, just trying to understand why those were adjusted downward. Have anything to do with occupancy?
No, so those were had 299C value applied to them for 2021, which means it would be a BOE appeal or something like that, and it just didn't get applied for 2022.
Okay.
So it's just applying that.
Okay, thanks.
Second.
There's a motion and second, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That's Cooper's cash, Mr. Nick, that's passed. Peter Prater coming.
Yes, good morning again.
Good morning.
Thanks
Good
for
morning.
being here. Start with appeals. We have been working the appeals. We had 2,036 appeals, and of which we had 1,585 that were residential, 361 commercial, 38 were homestead, 25 personal property, and motor vehicle 7. We have been processing these appeals. We have no changes, hearing officer, etc. Of the 1,583, we have processed 843 residential. Of the 361 commercial, we have processed 163. Of the 38 homestead appeals, we have processed 32. And there are 45 personal property, we have processed 11. And 7 motor vehicle, all 7 have been processed. So we are at a 52% completion with processing of appeals, which is pretty good considering we have limited staff.
How is the online appeal going? How are they going?
Well, that's it. The process is just to appeal online. We process them just the same. So once it's here, it's the same process now. So, but it facilitates the taxpayer to stay at home and appeal from it. And they have been utilizing it, and we also ask them to to, if they need to send additional information, they have to email the information. So it's working. And we do send out a letter to say that we have received your appeal, and if you wish to withdraw or to continue or to send additional information. And we have been getting all of the above. Some are withdrawing, some are sending additional information. So the process is working.
Do you feel that we're getting more appeals as a result of it being easier to begin the process from their standpoint?
No. We had 1,500 or so this year we had 2,035, and considering that we did a reval on commercial property, we were expecting more. So I cannot say that. What the online process does, especially for residential, it points you to comparables. So a lot of people, once they're appealing, they say, look at comparability. And once they start seeing that these comes are similar with same prices, some will not appeal. So there are pros and cons for the online process.
It sounds like it's not a wash.
Yeah, it possibly is, but you know what? The public has some reports that we can get. So I want to look at those reports so we can actually make intelligent decisions regarding what's happening. So I need to see those reports. So I'll present it to the board. So we can have to see what the findings are if we have, let's say 20% of persons that started an appeal process that did not continue, etc. So those reports we will get. And just updating that the Board of Assessors letter to the Commission Chair was acknowledged. She called me and said it will be given some consideration. So just to note that on the board that it was received and it's being given consideration.
We'll take that as a yes.
Yeah, exactly. So Steve, sorry, you mentioned that you processed 60% or completed 60% of the appeals with limited staff or minimum staff. Can you elaborate on that?
No, sir. I said 52%. A little over 50. Yes. And we are short one appraiser in residential, and we are short one appraiser in personal property. So what I'm saying is normally we would have more senior appraisers processing appeal, working these appeals, and we would have people going to the field to visit these properties. Mm-hmm. So ideally the process should be to visit all properties that have, especially if it wasn't visited in the last 3 years. So, but my procedure would be to visit all properties that are under appeal. So with the limited staff, we are visiting those that have not been visited within 3 years. And so that explains with limited staff.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome. IS World, we are still experiencing some teething pains with this. It was cut over. We had a good meeting last week with the project managers. For us, we considered it one project. We moved to IS World, and it was one payment, and the tax commissioner's office commissioned the whole project. IS World had 2 project managers assigned, one for the tax assessor's office and one for the tax commissioner's office to build out both projects. We have been having some synergy issues with the way they speak to each other. So we had a meeting last week to iron out those differences, and it was a very successful meeting, and a few of the problems being cleared. So we are now looking at it as one big project. So we had a successful meeting, and we're clearing some of the issues that were critical issues between us, seeing each other smoothly like we should. So that's happening as we speak. And that's pretty much it from Chief Appraiser's viewpoint. So any questions from the board?
Just Steve, always a general question. Anything that we could do or any assistance we could provide to you and the staff at this time?
I'll say that the Board of Assessors has been 100% assisted, and right now there is nothing that would require from the board. And if I do, I am really not afraid because I've been getting 100% support. So thank you.
Thank you. Please let us know.
Absolutely will.
Being no further business, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Next meeting.
Next meeting. Oh, the next meeting. There is further business. October 19th is exactly 2 weeks away.
Go that way.
I can do the 19th.
Hang with the 18th, Mark.
I'm sorry, you said the 18th?
18th?
Oh, 18th, yeah, I can do
18th or the 20th.
I can do the 18th.
I'm good on the 18th. It'll be the 18th then. And Steve, go ahead. Being no further business, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I can make a motion that we adjourn our meeting.
Motion.
All in favor, say aye.
All right.
You can take it off the line.
All right.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, everyone. See you next 2 weeks. Adrian, I'll be by tomorrow to sign the papers.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.